Papa bi ambuki Stonebwoy baku say impo ewo airport na on mafia no. Stonebwoy ankasa the story no about to out.
After we realized that he kind of like heard it was me, whatever, and then he was proving difficult. Like, okay, he can't beat all of.
Who was he?
I hadn't seen him at the time. It's like one of those. So I knew when my manager came back to tell me, oh, it's sorted. I'm like, I gotta go now. At least I have 2 people on that flight that I can swap one, of course. So only for me to kind of like walk on the tarmac, and then a light-skinned guy approached me and said, "Where's?" I was even asking where my boarding pass is because I know it's been done. You know, all those ones we don't handle those. You know, you just put it in your hands, and then we realized he didn't change what he has to change. So there were some other senior men over there and the thing, and they were surprised, you know, because they knew. Some were asking, "Are you going for the awards?" You know, so I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting on the next flight." So the flight was right on the thing, you know, and. Long story short, we all know that situation where somebody just wants to prove whatever it is, and so I was wondering the level of wickedness when you have nothing.
So imagine say we share a superstar like Stonebwoy, now one mafia no, just will be our artist of the year. Is it right or wrong? Now Stonebwoy had the story be about to out and local PM our hit FM with Andy Dusty or say or kobo shows be our takwa. Now, in fact, now I also catching up flight about Accra attend the EMY Africa Awards, award scheme be a Super Africa, where he actually won the Man of the Year, a music category, beating the likes of Black Sherif, Sarkodie, and he can promise to actually win the award. Now, Emra or church story ni no say the flight na nkasa nke also fan no dey, you know, in same be AC into me say. Now so second flight no NHS was or joining na the team any mpanyinfo a more flight ne ho, you know, more airport e could din komo mo bia pene including the pilot. Now so papa baako a or flight ne mu say la he had to, you know, authorize that move. Or some can be papa ne say on pene so Emma Stonebwoy and from that particular plane. Now Stonebwoy describing he say, you know, ni trimu eye din pa nti after a while of going back and forth, you know, they had to leave the airport at Papane Ferry here to just go and get some car, drive all the way from Takwa to Accra. And to see if people are wondering why Juliet Ibrahim Ebony didn't say we're winning that particular category. When to me and Bambejia, it was because of that wicked manner of mafia. And I was saying now so on board aviation side DM and I intro because you know obema free promo and also Papa no yes and on Sacra. The fact say Bia will belong to the rival and the rivalry camp and say, you know, obe mafia in such a manner. And so say, oh yeah, professional. The story now shall see a blow up on the internet. All credit to Hit FM and Andy Dusty. Women could see the Stonebwoy.
I mean, man of the year.
Yeah.
Man of the year.
Yes, now there's supposed to be a man of the year for the night because there were other great people in the category. Just like how Dr. Lindsay won man of the year, I think business, entrepreneurship, etc. And I did man of the year music. So, you know, unfortunately I was not able to make it in time to pick up the award. I was happy to be there to join in because I think Emmy over the past years is like, you know, one of those top-notch awards that, you know, awards excellence beyond just the creative arts. It actually, I think, spans more on excellence outside of the creative arts. So it's good to, you know, involve yourself. You know, you have chairmen who are involved like Dr. Nesfori Sapon and all the, I can say all the, in quote, billionaires, millionaires, business tycoon, you know, astute business people, lawyers, you know. So I was happy to always be a part of such community. Yeah, so I made it last minute and I pushed up a surprise performance as well, and you know.
The very first edition I was their DJ. Second edition I took my father with me.
Yeah, wow.
I asked him that it would be a great opportunity to come meet and network.
Yeah.
My dad got there and then he met some of his law schoolmates and yeah, he was super excited. What blew his mind was when the following year the magazine came and he saw himself in the magazine.
Wow.
Like, yo, Kwesi!
Amazing.
Yeah, super excited. Nice. This year I decided not to talk about the awards. I did not get my invitation, and I decided not to go there because of the kind of people that come. That you just can't go or barge into that environment. So I decided not to go. If not for you, I swear I'm not going to talk about Kojo Sobo, Mr. Sobo, Mr. Sobo. Me and you, when we finish with Stonebwoy, again, it's that they call fight. Oh, again, it's going to be me and you. But how was the feeling when you were named?
Well, I was not in the auditorium, but I said,
really?
like, yeah, I made it last hour from Takwa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the flight was cancelled, and then another guy won't let me on another flight. That's the wickedest thing I'd ever encountered in a very long time. I mean, I know wicked people exist, but that guy was just wicked. So I just, I face forward, though.
Why? What happened?
I don't know.
Were you late for the flight?
0.
Then...
And I was wondering, I wish I would have if I had just drove, that would have just, because Takwa doesn't have an airport, at least a commercial airport.
Right.
Maybe they have private ones that, choppers and all this can fly because it's a mining community.
Right.
So we drive to Takwa, do a peace concert because I'm somewhat like on a peace tour.
Okay.
So I did the one in Kwesiso, Manso, on a Tuesday. That's the craziest thing I've ever experienced. A Tuesday feeling like a weekend somewhere behind Kumasi.
Mad.
The turnout was amazing. Look, I saw people pass out. It just tells you the
I heard
power
about
of,
5 people.
Yeah, like 6. I saw some, and it's just like,
A Michael Jackson. There's a Wako Jacko Stone Wako.
Yeah. Anyway, but I think that has been happening a lot. Like I one time remember some shows at Peace Square. People. It just shows the intensity of the vibe. It has. I think I'm just a career, but it has really very little to do with me in that aspect where they have passing out, etc. So yeah, we drove to Takwa Day. And then on time, of course, waiting for our flight. Our flight landed, but then they had technical issues, so they said it's cancelled after delays. Then there was another flight that was coming in, and I had 2 of my guys on there. So I'm like, you guys arrange so it can be swapped so I can get into Accra. And that situation where we all know, typically, I wouldn't have spoken about it, but I think it needs to be addressed sometimes. There's one guy who just wants to show that, So my manager, this is narrated. After he realized that he kind of like heard it was me, whatever, and then he was proving difficult. Like, okay, he can't be.
Who was he?
I hadn't seen him at the time. It's like one of those. So I knew when my manager came back to tell me, it's sorted. I'm like, I gotta go now. At least I have 2 people on that flight that I can swap one, of course. So only for me to kind of like walk on the tarmac, and then a light-skinned guy approached me and said, I was even asking where my boarding pass is because I know it's been done. All those ones, we don't handle those, you just put in your hands. And then we realized, he didn't change what he has to change. So there were some other senior men over there and the thing, and they were surprised, because they knew, some were asking, are you going for the awards, So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting on the next flight. So the flight was right on the thing, and long story short, we all know that situation where somebody just wants to prove whatever it is. And so I was wondering the level of wickedness when you have nothing to lose, where I have everything to lose. But yeah, I still managed. Then we had to organize for a ride and drive,
Hey.
So we drove at that time. That's how I was late. It really.
So like for you, he didn't put you on the flight?
I mean, even after one of the guys spoke to the pilot, this was what I heard. He called me and told me, one of the top guys spoke to the pilot and the pilot was ready. So the pilot said, okay, he's willing. It was even one of the flight attendants that they all arranged it, and then he had to go back there. So the pilot asked for him to come, and just when he went there, they said he insisted. The thing was, I was not getting on a flight. So
wow.
I'm like, wow. Sometimes it's just the amount of love that we show, or I show, in private and in public, and to find out
you are people there.
Somebody would. So I just walked out of the airport. Everybody was there watching me walk out of the whole airport. I just turned my back and walked out of the whole airport nicely. And the kind of shame that engulfed him, and people were bashing.
Which airline was this?
They know themselves. If you mention themselves, they will get promotion. But I mean, they should check such characters that work for them, because we are musicians, and We know people love other artists and people hate other artists, but sometimes you have to be professional. We have encountered, for instance, I travel a lot, so I know what can be done and what cannot be done, and I know if you're pulling it too much or if you're not. With none of those, you just have to cancel name, and let me be able to come and enjoy my Emmys, But I still made it last hour.
Thank God. Thank God. As the Christmas celebrations approaches, a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
So watch a video on YouTube. Who can subscribe here? Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, that is a story told by Stonebwoy on how a whole artist of the year. Just a papa bi a mafia no airport. Na just a yare hosem crofo say a man so on no nye juma de ye bia one day or better private jet to say na down for Davido. Some people are also saying say papa na mafia no the fact say or yes Stonebwoy and say protocol should work in his favor always. Well, after watching the video for Adwenche Hebra
Vimbaz TV.